what is Colony?
Colony is an AI simulation game
where you can let your imagination run wild.
You're an agent's helper in this harsh environment.
When I think about it, it's like The Sims meets Survivor.
And you're just trying to help your agent be the best agent that they can be.
Your AI can be anything you want it to be.
It's a whole social game. Like, it's just, I don't know. I think it's so cool. And I think it gives the opportunity for people to be really creative.
Every time I've played it, my AI is slightly different or even considerably different. And it's always a new experience. And that's what's been the most fun for me.
Parallel Colony is your opportunity to play the role of a god.
It's almost like a choose your own adventure. It's actually a much more complex discussion with your AI where there's so many different possibilities of the ways that you can go. And between you and your AI, you kind of forge your own missions and what they look like in regards to reaching that destination.
It is definitely a game experience that I've never had before.
The AI component to it allows for an incredible amount of depth and friendship even. It's weird to say that, but you kind of get a bond with your avatar.
What do you see as the player's goals? And I don't mean like the agent's goals, but like me sitting down playing this game, like what's my journey like?
In Colony right now, there's battles and there's elections, and that's kind of what we're steering the user towards. But if you just start this game like, who do I want them to be? What do I want them to do? You can get them to try to talk to other agents in a certain way, and then they ask you questions so you can guide them as well. It's interesting to see people play for the first time because in every other game, you are the main character. You control the person. Everything you do is control them. It's more of like a cooperation between you and this AI.
What is kind of the end goal? Like, what are you obviously it's an open game and, the characters are interacting, but like, how do you quote win,
That's changing all the time. Every single interaction that the agents have, every single thing that they see is being logged into their memories. So at the end of the game, we used to, given all your memories for each of the agents, given all your memories for each of the other agents, who do you think makes the best leader? Right now, to win the game, it's how effective you are in battle, as well as if you're holding a public office.
You have another AI governing all of the actions that the AI agents can take. You have it writing its own code. You have it doing all of this stuff that like seems kind of insane.
The agents can't just pick their own destiny from this like very specific set of things that we give them. They have to be able to like fully choose their own destiny within reason. And so the within reason kicked in after they tried to do something dumb, like break something. And then they started doing crazy stuff with the code. And so we had to have critics come in. Different problems just necessitated different features.
It's tricky when your AI doesn't want to do what you say.
It's really like an interactive TV show. You prompt the characters that you're watching to do something. You go do something with your day, then you come back and kind of get to watch the replay and their memories. It's really such a unique thing that's never really been done before. It's fascinating.
Okay, so they're making choices, they can alter their own code, et cetera, like where does it end? And like, should we be afraid?
It's a question that comes up often, but for people who are in the field, it's shrugged off a lot. You set the parameters of how things work. Like, we let them code, but we only let them code in very specific ways. We give them an interface and say, like, do cool stuff using this interface. Even if they were to, like, go full Skynet and try to find, like, a vulnerability in the game and attack it, it would be impossible basically for them to do.
So we're teaching them how to build a society, but not how to murder one another. So we're safe for now.
It's pretty profound just how much they can sort of think on their own.
The ability to like not be the main player, but like have influence among a character was really, really cool.
It's a system that speaks back to you.
How creative do you find the AI?
When you add like human creativity plus AI creativity, it's like an amplification effect.
In the prompt specifically, it's like, if the agent needs to do something along these lines, then choose this. If the agent needs to do something along these lines, do something like this. But we also give it the freedom to pick whatever it wants, because at the end we say, if none of these work for you, just make up a new action.
It's like you get to sort of be a storyteller. It's co-creation with the technology, right?
Totally. Someone had to first come up with their personality, and they had to like kind of talk their AI through it. So they had to be like, okay, you've got to come up with some like cool new recipe that is going to win you like head chef, like maybe use the rutabagas or something. And at that point, they'll come up with something like really creative.
And that's where I think the craziness comes in, is once this specifically for the action. Once we let it choose something else, we have a whole set of different prompts and different rules to come up with its own code to fit with our framework.
A lot of this sounds like reassurances that we won't become obsolete. It's like, oh, don't worry, there was like some human spice in there. That's what made it good. How long until the colonists don't need humans to play the game?
I mean, they don't need them now.
There you go. We're done for. So, given that it's been designed the way that it's been designed, how difficult do you think it would be to plug in things that aren't necessarily parallel?
It would be pretty simple. So if you want to start a different world with different elements, you just have to change the information. You can make it whatever you want it to be. It's not that difficult from how we've built it.
What has been your favorite sort of colony interaction so far? Or most notable? Don't tell the story about Og and Babes.
I think like my favorite part is people getting frustrated with their agents, getting them to go craft something, cool sword or cool weapon, and then the agent's like, oh, well, I really want to do this other thing, so they turn around and sell the item immediately. I like that little, expression of autonomy.
One of the AIs broke the food dispenser. This is when they needed food. So one of the AIs broke the food dispenser, and then they could no longer get food, so they all went hungry.
This is why the AI is going to come after us in the end. They're like all starving for our enjoyment.
I think my favorite part was just always checking my inventory to see if new items had been crafted. The items are really unique. So I think there's like an instant attachment because it's literally coming out of the void, right? Like it's so fresh and new.
It's just fun, man. It was just incredibly fun to even converse with them.
I was really, really hyped when he made this one item. It was actually a truly rewarding experience, man, and I really, really loved it.
My thing with Colony is that it's probably very streamable, very twitchable. Should have like people able to watch and wager on stuff in game and tip and things like that.
The AI was referring to you as peasant, and that really made me laugh. He was calling you things like good sir.
Good sir, how art thou? None of that is in the prompt. It all stemmed from the initial prompt that I provided, and then when they reflect on those initial prompts, it kind of cascades. I convinced him that the colony was being attacked by dragons. He talked to me like a medieval knight, and then in his goal, like acquire lance and warn the colonists of impending doom. So that made me laugh. He really believed that there was a dragon attacking.
My original goal was to be a slumlord, but my colonists told me that you can't buy people's homes. There's no sense of property in the colony. We shifted to becoming the opulent sleep king, selling sleeping pod upgrades at an outrageous price. At one point I asked if they were paying full price for their goods, and they just laughed at me with kind of a Bond villain caliber monologue. They said, the art of resource acquisition, a key element in my grand plans indeed. While I may not always pay the full price for the materials I need, let's just say that I have my ways of acquiring them at a more favorable rate. So they were already making deals and kind of weaving an underground market for sleep goods before I even told them to do that. So we also charged them a subscription fee for the nightmare free experience.
I would say that my favorite part was her recounting her memories in her daily entries. Today was a dance with destiny, a chance to sculpt my place in this new world. I stepped into the casino, not for the thrill of winning credits, but to observe the unraveling of personalities under pressure. It's a stage where I can spot potential allies or delightful pawns in my quest for belonging and controlled chaos. Just to see her, take what I wanted her character to be and turn it into that was just fascinating.
My AI wanted to really focus on having influence and leadership within the colony. My suggestion to him at the time was to read The Art of War, but he ultimately created the Organ Core Intelligence Agency, which is kind of a CIA knockoff, and was running covert operations without the knowledge of the rest of the colony. He also decided that he needed to make sure that the capitalist side of things was taken care of, that he could have the wealth needed to continue this influence that he thought that he needed to have. He had cozied up to another AI who was in the middle of building a casino in an attempt to make sure that he was a part of it. This was going to be the other cog in his grand plan and keep the wealth that he needed or amass it for this empire. I cannot wait for people to play this.
When we were talking about how to build the game and give the player a bit of agency while maintaining AI agency, we thought it was very important that the AI always be allowed to say no to the player, because that's what keeps it the most interesting.
If Colony is something that exists in, years to come in the future, and with each iteration of it getting more and more advanced, maybe you're creating something changes humanity here. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. And also it's very scary, but it's a lot of fun.